Russell, we're obviously here to introduce the ICAS Executive Coaching Programme. Now, it has to be said that is a bit of a mouthful, but thankfully it's already underway.
Yes, the coaching programme is designed to allow leaders to enhance their skills through taking practical issues at work and exploring how those issues with other people in a similar position and with a similar mindset for growth.
And that's a good point, actually, because obviously we are also going to be talking today about growth mindset. What is it? Why is it important? And it might be fair to say that you and I had to develop a growth mindset just to actually have this clip filmed this morning. Yeah.
So the way it works is that people bring practical issues at work that they've got and they bring it into the room, and we facilitate a conversation with everybody around the table. And we go through a process of encouraging people to challenge the preconceived thoughts of the person with the challenge, to give alternative angles, alternative mirrors on the issue, to help that person explore and get a way forward that best suits them. And then at future sessions, it's good to check back to see how did they get on, did it work, did the techniques work? And that's a great way of having some peer learning.
Yes, I mean, you've said it yourself on so many occasions that what we're doing here is giving or providing or creating a confidential safe space so that people can share common challenges and experiences. And I remember you and I walking along the South Bank at one point, and we came across a park bench with a small brass plaque that said, "Everybody needs a place to think."
Yeah.
And I think that's what we're doing here for the groups or the cohorts that we're actually working with.
Absolutely. So getting time to think is helpful. Other issues that come out, quite common ones are, building resilience as a leader. It's tough. Mm-hmm. It's not going to get any easier in the business world. There's constant change that you have to deal with. Mm-hmm. Imagine if you're having to push through some change in the organisation. How do you get the various stakeholders to buy in to what you believe is the right way of doing it? Because everybody else will have an opinion. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then if you do have a bit of work to do, you need to delegate it down. How do you get your junior people to do that in a motivated way to deliver high quality work in the timescales that are appropriate?
Yes. And to double back to what you were saying earlier, this involves developing or nurturing a growth mindset, which was a concept created by Dr. Carol Dweck of Stanford University, really in relation to her work on or in education. But we've also applied this for a number of years now, really in our work in businesses and organisations across the country. I suppose in defining growth mindset, we've found it quite helpful to draw in the distinction between having a growth mindset and having a fixed mindset, a growth mindset being one that embraces challenges, is resilient. You talked about resilience earlier. Embraces feedback and criticism, if you like, whereas the fixed mindset is one that essentially avoids any challenge whatsoever and ignores any critical feedback. We might sum it up by saying that a growth mindset is one where the individual is always improving, whereas the fixed mindset is one that where the individual is actually proving how good they already are.
Yeah, and it's certainly a mindset that's very helpful to have in coming to these sessions, because you are there to learn, and you are there to learn from your mistakes, other people's mistakes, other people's successes, and your successes, and to share back. So it is hugely valuable to have that mindset at these sessions.
You're absolutely right, and again, circling back to what you were saying earlier, you might have a chartered accountant or a CA who is technically very competent but wants to lead others, and they may have to nurture their own growth mindset around developing or growing their leadership. You might have a CA who has board challenges, so we're talking about a senior leader who has challenges with their board, and it might be that they need to think about how they develop a growth mindset around their stakeholder management. You might also find, for example, a smaller CA practice wanting to grow the business, and the owner really needing to develop a growth mindset around networking, profile raising, and generally business development. And of course, all of those skills, as we know, Russell, are learnable.